teams as the Lady Falcons of John Glenn travel here to the Trojan Trench to take on the Triton Lady Trojans. All right, welcome everyone. The school is back in session, which means foul sports are back in action tonight. We get to see the season opening match for these two teams as the Lady Falcons of John Glenn travel here to the Trojan Trench to take on the Triton Lady Trojans. I'm Andy O'Hara. Alongside me here tonight is Kayden Hummitch on camera and the Hall of Famer Orion Lemler here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network. The Lady Falcons kick off the season looking to build on a tough season a year ago. The Lady Falcons, led by head coach Taylor Kaluki, as this group of Falcons are looking to bounce back, playing in a very tough conference. They're looking to show their toughness and grit and improve here this season. They have a very talented group with experience and skill, and they are not afraid of a challenge. The Big Blue Slam look to continue their success as a very dominant, successful team in 1A and in conference play. They found their third consecutive sectional crown a season ago, and they're second under the tutelage of head coach Derek Evelyn. Led by some strong hitters up front and some very strong rotation players, this squad is looking to build off the success from a season ago. These two teams have squared off in the opening game as usual, as the Trojans won on the road last season. The last time the two teams squared off in the Trojan Trench, the Falcons came out on top. Both teams are hungry and determined to start the season off with a win. And that's what's up next here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on YouTube in the IHSAA Champions Network. We'll have this national anthem followed by starting lineups, and we'll have it on camera. We'll be back after that right here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network.
Good evening and welcome to the Trojan Trench for our volleyball match, first one of the year. Triton will be hosting John Glenn. This time, please stand, put our flag, gentlemen, highly recognized, as we will honor America with playing our national anthem. How about we do the pledge of allegiance? Let's meet our players. First, for the John Glenn Lady Falcons. Non-starters in number 10, Rodney Johnson. Number 4, Ava Leslie. Number 5, Chelsea Alaska. Number 13, Mackenzie Tim. Number 14, Riley Johnson. Trying to out for Glenn, their speaking captain, number 2, Haley Eric. The Libero, number 8, Emma Martin. Number 11, Mia Hutten. Number 3, Sophia Roberts. Number 12, Shelly Whitmer. Number 6, Leah Harris. And number 1, Vivian Stevenson. Head coach is Taylor Ruby. Assisted by Leah Whitmer and Leslie Harris. And now to the home team, the Triton Lady. Number 7, Maya Kayden. Number 19, Allie Westerberg. Number 17, Lacey Carson. And number 5, Cora Dahl. Starting tonight, Triton speaking back to number 9, TTSN Viers. Number 10, Kayden. Triton's Libero number 6, Kinsey Atman. Number 25, Lena Dahl. Number 21, Hannah Snyder. Number 8, Macy Kinsley. Number 18, Avery Viers. Assisted by Tony Porto and Jamie Baker. Our officials for tonight's Varsity. The referee is Tim Hammond. The umpire is Bruce Irvin.
All right, so we're all set to go here in the Trojan Trenches. Both starting lineups that you just heard announced there. Both teams starting with the freshmen along that line, with Vivian Stevens and Avery Viers, the 2 freshmen starting for these 2 teams here tonight. Kinsey Atkins, the Libero, out there for Triton with Macy Hensley, Addison Viers, Morgan Feldman, Hannah Snyder, and Lena Dahl rounding out the group as they'll get themselves all set. The group out there to start here for John Glenn. We'll have Vivian Stevens, like we just said, another freshman starting here tonight. Haley Eric, number 2 for the Falcons. Number 3, Sophia Romer. Number 6, Ava Parrish. Number 8, Emma Borton. Number 11, Mia Hutten. And number 12, Chaley Fortner. So as we get ready to get back underway, it's trying to get things figured out as we were trying to get the national anthem. Orion, a lot going on up here as Margo and Kayden, my son Kayden's helping us now on camera on our one sideline camera we're going to use here. So along that front line, Mia Hutten was going to stand there right next to Haley Arick, the 2 seniors manning that post down there alongside with Ava Parrish, the junior. As Vivian Stevens, as the Falcons won the toss, so they'll get to serve. As Emma Borton, the Libero, takes her spot. They're in the back row alongside Fortner. I put Lena Dahl, Snyder, and Hensley along the front line. I was going to put Viers, the Viers sisters in the back row with Kinsey Atkins. As Stevens gets ready to get things underway, Volleyball's back in action. Atkins gets the stop, and it's going to be an ace to start off the game for the Falcons as they strike with a loud point to start this opening set. Kaluki giving her team some last-second instructions. Atkins stops. Couldn't quite get the position as that one went off the side of her hand. And back-to-back aces starts the game for the Falcons. Of course, Triton down there with that. The football team really manning that student section, trying to fire him up. Snyder sitting on up. Here comes Viers. Kill shot to the back row. And Triton's on the board. That was a nice setup. Atkins with a nice play there. And then you saw across with Snyder really set up from that far side corner spot. And Addison Viers reared back and sent it back home to get them on the board as Lena Dahl will start things off. Lena, a talented junior for this team. Sends it back across strong to the back row as the libero for the Falcons will stop it. Hooten's going to wind up, sends it to the back row. Dahl's there to stop it. Viers, Atkins rolls it across. Arik trying to find some open space back on that back row. Viers sends it across. We're going to get, I believe, a net violation on the Falcons, knotted up at 2. The Trojan football players liked that call, as they're going to say that Stevens got into that net there. So there's the first foul, first net violation of the game, as Dahl gets a second straight serve. Back across. Hooten tips it across and sees an open spot and drops it right in between the defense. And just like that, the Falcons are back out in front. Both teams sporting some good hitters along that front line. Both teams with a good share of juniors and seniors on either side. Triton only having 2 on this year's roster. Lena Dahl back across, too strong, out of bounds. 2-point lead now for John Glenn. Glenn, the last time they were here, it was a nail-biter to start the season off where they beat the Trojans. Derek Ewan's first game as a Triton's head coach. Snyder gets it back across to the back row. That one couldn't quite pull it away from the net on the hit there from Ava Parrish. And the Falcons on a 3-0 run. This is a resilient group. This is a group, like I said, play up there in that tough conference that they get to play in each season. Found 3 wins in conference play season ago, and Addison Viers sends it back. And Triton back on the board. Morgan Feldman will check in. Macy Hensley will come out. And that'll send Kinsey Atkins back to serve. Kinsey Atkins really improving on her serving a season ago. Sends it across. And a nice job there from Faulkner to find some open real estate and drops that right in between the defense. Glenn's hitters up front really seeing the floor well, finding those open spots. That's where they got that lead, is just doing a good job moving the Trojan defense and just finding those open zones. Hooten now back across. Dahl to answer. Dahl rolls it, but not tall enough as it'll hit right in the center of the net. Coach Eva not liking that one. So both teams trying to shake the rust off. Of course, we had to shake the rust off here this evening, trying to get equipment all set up and trying different things this season. As Atkins receives that one. Viers with the tip and drops it right in the corner. Nice job by Addison Viers. Good vision up there in that front corner spot to see an empty spot on this near side corner to drop it in. Sophomore Maya Davis will go along that tall front line now, sporting freshman Avery Viers and Morgan Feldman as Addison Viers back to serve. It's the Falcons looking to attack right back, and 4 hits. Also checking in for the Falcons, Ava Leslie, number 4, checking in. And on the back row with Riley Johnson, number 10. Viers back to the back row. Lining it up, tipping across, but we're going to get a cross underneath the net there on number 3, Sophia Romer. The Trojans. Puts that one on that far sideline as they're trying to sort it out there as Romer back across. Viers tips it to the back corner and really makes him track to that one, but a good effort as the Falcons recover. Nice job there by the Falcons back row to keep that one alive. Here comes Maya Davis into the net, and the Falcons send it back. What a great play on that back row. And the Trojans strike right back. Avery Davis now serving it away and finds an ace for the freshman in the corner. Triton's first ace of the match. Avery Viers, a very talented freshman. Of course, all the Viers sisters. The fourth one we've seen here come through. Very talented family. Is on the, no matter what sport they play, very talented group. Avery's got a very bright future ahead of her. As Coach Evelyn will call a timeout as he's trying to sort things out and see if we can regain the Trojans as they trail here 8-7. 9-7 rather. Don was a little late on that switch. Orion's getting himself fed. Kayden. So we'll see if Coach Evelyn got the attention of his group out there on the floor. It was a short conversation, but I imagine it was pretty deliberate and to the point. Trying to focus his team. You alive over there? Give me a thumbs up, you good? Kayden can't talk, but by golly, he can hear me. Of course, the 7th grader deciding Dad's going to put him to work. And Faulkner now to serve it away. We're back underway. Viers gets that one. Couldn't quite get herself in position. That goes off the side of her hand. Wasn't quite squared up, and that one goes out of bounds. And an ace for the Falcons. That's their third one here this opening set. Viers on the return. Davis setting up Lena Dahl. Here comes that. Just tipped it right over the wall, but nice job there by Romer to get it back across. Almost a miscue on the front line. Davis bailing out of trouble. We're going to get a lane violation on the Trojans. Or net violation, rather. Which Faulkner will go right back. And sends a laser to the back row, and the freshman can't handle it, and 4 hits on the Trojans. As the Falcons starting to roll here midway through this first set. Now to bring in Jenna Bulis, a talented sophomore. And that one goes out of bounds, and the Trojans take back over. They're in the free point there. Macy Hensley will check in as Kinsey Atkins gets a break as senior Morgan Feldman back to serve it away. Morgan really improving in her high school career. Sends a good serve to the back row. Romer can't roll it across. And Morgan Feldman gets a point. Anthony Shue liking the player there on the far side. Like we said, this Trojan football team doing an outstanding job in the student section every time for any home volleyball match. Viers setting up Maya Davis. Swings it through, but out of bounds. Right idea. It was a good swing. Just got to straighten it up a little bit. And that's what Coach Evelyn's telling her right now. Settle down. Time your approach. Take your time. Of course, Maya being a sophomore. Another tall frontline player for the Trojans. Set up well by Addison Viers. Maya's just got to kind of slower approach and get herself set. As Borton sends it across the libero for Glenn. Macy Hensley tips it across the attack line. Glenn can't answer back. Good job by Macy Hensley to really move the defense to a spot where she saw an empty hole. And now Maya Davis back to serve it away as the Trojans now trail by 3. Davis, the soft serve just past the attack line. The Falcons recover well as Hooten rolls it, but a block up front. Triton trying to recover. The Dolls got to get it back across and does. Hooten now swings, back row, out of bounds. Well, they're going to say a tip by the Trojans up front. And Glenn keeps the point on the strong hit from Hooten. So tip on the front. Viers say, that was on me, front line. And she'll rotate to the back row as Hannah Snyder now will check back in. Of course, the first season not playing with her sister on the floor, as Lauren graduated a season ago. So 14-9 as they adjust the score. Viers in the return. Snyder setting up Viers, swinging hard and goes to the back row. Borton answers well. Tips it across. Snyder to react. Viers to the back corner and really makes it. Addison Viers painting the corners, looking like a seasoned major league pitcher out there, just finding easy spots in the zone and just dropping it in. Nice play there from Addison Viers. Really moving that defense along the floor. As Lena Dahl now to serve. So Avery Viers checked in on that last dead ball. Hooten across the back line, and they're going to say out of bounds. They're going to say out of bounds in that back line. That was a close call back there in that line. It looked like it might have hit the line from this angle. Dahl to serve. On up, Avery Viers trying to react. Addison Viers trying to bail her out. A tip across from Hooten. Triton's got to straighten it up. A little sloppy on that line. Got to communicate. Snyder's Atkins with the dig to keep it alive. Atkins up. Avery Viers rolls it across, and Triton wins the rally. Now trailing by 3. They might have been playing on roller skates there on that just a little bit there, but recovered well. Kinsey Atkins slowed it down enough for Avery Viers to get a good roll across the top of the defense. Stevens trying to catch the defense off guard a little too far forward, gets that one into the net. It's back to a 2-point ball game. Lena Dahl on a roll here. She's served several points here on this run. Arc back across, found an empty spot in the back row. Triton out of position, couldn't get that one to bring it back. Team trying to sort things out. It's Haley Arick, one of the seniors for the Falcons, sending that one across. Up to Viers. Viers to Viers on that connection. Faulkner now tips it across. Snyder there to answer. Addison Viers tips it across to the attack line. Nice play by Addison Viers, but good play by Snyder to keep that one alive. Feldman now swinging her way in. Coach Evelyn, quick word with Maya Davis, trying to explain to her on that front line. Trying to coach Evelyn, a very good coach for this team. Oh, him with Tony Plotho and Jamie Baker in charge of the junior varsity team. Nice save there by the Falcons to keep it alive. Viers finds an empty spot just beyond the attack line, and the Trojans now down by 1 on a roll. And Kinsey Atkins, the other senior, back to serve it away. Always like watching Coach Evelyn. He never misses an opportunity to teach and talk to his players. This group very well taught and coached by the seasoned head coach. Glenn rotating as Faulkner will roll it across. Atkins calling it out, sending it back to the front row to Feldman, who tips it across but can't get that one to clear the net. And the run ends there as the Trojans now trail by 2, with Hooten back to serve it away. She is one of 3 seniors. Borton, the other senior, the libero for the Falcons. Hooten just gets her past the top of the net. Really baited him well, caught him off guard. Lena Dahl can't recover, and the Falcons on a 2-point swing. As I said earlier, this John Glenn team, a very tough group. Battle tested. Very well coached by Kaluki, calling out the direction where to put it. And delivers right where Coach told her to drop it, found a soft spot just there along the attack line, and Coach Evelyn wanted to refocus up his group. That was a good call by Kaluki to see that open spot there on that line to try to catch him off guard. Very well executed there. Still alive over there? What's wrong? You got young legs. You can stand. Kayden trying to sit down over there. Thinks he needs a timeout. I was told to tell you you're doing good. I know you can't talk back, but you're doing a fine job over there. I think he's the youngest helper. Well, I guess Danny's helped once. Long talk for Coach Evelyn here. Kaluki just keeping her group focused and just loose out there, having fun. Hoot now back to serve from the far corner for the Falcons. Coach Kayden's going to be our new camera guy for the sideline this season, helping us out on a bunch of other stuff as he grows to learn into a role for the TTSN crew. Viers tips it across. Nice job with the left paw. Knocks it right back into the back row. The Falcons found a soft spot. And that'll bring in Riley Johnson, one of the many juniors on this Falcons team. Hooten will get a break as she had a nice serve like I said a moment ago, and Coach drove it up well. Triton now trailing by 3. Unfortunately, on the nice setup there, Forkner couldn't quite complete it. That one goes into the net. Johnson answers. Stevens setting up. We're going to get a net violation on the Trojans. That's both teams with 2 of those here in this first set. That'll bring in Kelsey Alaska as she'll check in for Ava Leslie. So Alaska to serve now, back across. Dahl. Viers on up. Feldman trying to go to the back row. Too strong, and that one out of bounds. Viers dumping it across from her back. Viers sets up Davis. The sophomore swings through the block. Cracked the wall, and the Trojans back on the board. Freshman Avery Viers now to serve. Nice serve to the back row. Alaska up to Fortner. She goes back row. Up to Lena Dahl, trying to swing hard to the back row. Johnson there to answer, falling down, but Romer didn't have enough room to play it back away from the net, and the Trojans strike right back. It's a nice hit from Lena Dahl to go to the back row, but Johnson with a nice dig to bring it back into play. Just too far to the net. Romer couldn't quite get there in position to get it across. Strong serve, and for Avery Viers, the freshman gets her second ace here of this opening set, and both aces by the team here this evening belong to her. Now, 1-point match. Big point here for either team. And an ace, back-to-back aces for Avery Viers. And a timeout for Coach Kaluki as the Falcons see their lead diminished. Now it's knotted up at 20 with the Trojans with a big momentum swing as the student section getting fired up. Of course, the boys will be playing That's South Central on Friday night. The Trojans will be back here Wednesday night. The girls will be to play Mishawaka. And then Thursday they'll be at Oregon Davis. We will have that home match against Mishawaka. We will not be traveling to Oregon Davis. We'll see if Orion's well fed here. Well, his hands are sticky now, he says, so he can't touch the headset yet. I don't know, the Kayden over there to my left has some big shoes to fill because the last guy named Kayden on this broadcast deemed the name of the Tony Romo of high school broadcasting. So you got some big shoes to fill down there. I guess sandals since you didn't wear your Hey Dudes. It's kind of fun. I get to pick on you and you can't fight back. And the football players trying to fire up their big blue slam. Knotted up at 20. This has been a dramatic opening set. Wouldn't expect it any other way from these two teams. Viers to the back row. Hart goes up, trying to step too close, and Stevens out of position. And the Trojans take their first lead of the ball game. Triton trailing came roaring back on some very good plays. Falcons trying to get reset. Faulkner trying to talk to her front row, trying to re-evaluate things as Romer rolls it right to the top of the net. It bounces back. 2-point swing for Triton as there another timeout for Glenn, and things get sorted out. Of course, I just got a text message from the boss at home. Jackson's trying to talk to the TV apparently, and he thinks I can hear him. But I love you too, pal. So see, I did hear him. I don't know, Kayden, that kid's a little strange, isn't he? Comes from your mother's side of the family. Of course, Margo running the camera for us as Orion's getting a little break here, and appreciate Margo coming and helping us out. As Glenn trying to refocus as Kaluki sees her team. I mean, they've dominated for most of this opening set. Just right now in this final goings here in this last final push. Sees her team's falling as Hooten trying to focus her group up, trying to fire them up. They got a talented group up there. They've had some very bright moments in this opening set. Triton comes roaring back with some bright moments of their own. Could be in for a photo finish here for this opening set. Of course, a lot of the Glenn and the Trojan fans all showing up well here tonight. Romer back across. Avery Viers to answer. Addison Viers along the lane, brings it back, but throws it out of bounds. Lena Dahl out of position, a little miscue there. And Coach Evelyn trying to tell her to go up with that fist. Her rolled her back across as she was trying to send it back. Glenn back on the board. Faulkner now to send it away. Finds Viers. Davis up to the front row. Dahl rolls it across. Romer there to answer. Good reflex on that front line by Glenn. Dahl too strong, but we're going to get a net violation on the Falcons. That's their third here this opening set. Might be a costly point, but still a long way to go here in this opening set. And Allie Westhaver is going to check in for Morgan Feldman. Allie, a sophomore, but a very talented server. Her approach, she's very good on her serving approach. Does a great job. Very athletic, very smart, good instincts for a young player. Very bright future ahead for her. Nice serve to the back row. Faulkner pulled that one up off the hardwood. Stevens rolls it across the front line, and the Trojans now on with the match point, 24-21. The football team all fired up, calling for one more point. The sophomore, a big serve here. Strong to the back row. Borden answers. Too close. Stevens goes underneath. Yalaska up to Romer. Viers in the back row. Up to Sister Addison. Westhaver can't roll it across. The Falcons are still alive, and Coach Even wanted that point back. Kenzie Atkins will rotate in. Senior Emma Bort now back to serve for the Falcons. Sidewinders, Atkins, nice adjustment to bring it back in play. Davis dumps it across. Yalaska on over to Arik, back across, tipped up front by Davis. Viers setting up. Here comes Lena Dahl, blocked by Hooten and Stevens along that front line. I said, don't count them out. 1 point now, separate the two teams. A chance to extend it here. Bort now to serve it away. Davis sends it across, out of bounds, tie ball game. Couple of miscues by the Trojans. Davis might have rushed that just a tad. She'll get that sorted out. And like I said, Maya Davis, a very tall, very good sophomore. Bright future ahead for her as Bort now a chance to go up by 1. Atkins brings it alive. Davis putting it back in the middle of the floor. Viers rolls it across to the back row to Alaska. Faulkner on across. Zarek now Atkins up to the front side. Setting up Davis, plants her feet. And a 1 point game as the match point now belongs to the Falcons, who are just down by a few points here at the start, here towards the end. Came roaring back to get out by 1. A chance for a match point here to take this opening set. Borton serves it away. Strong to the back row. Atkins wisely lets it go. Knotted up at 25. Kaluki changes her mind, brings back Romer. Snyder now goes to the back row. Alaska up to Hooten. Strong hit. Atkins can't recover. And the Falcons back up by 1. Let's see Ava Paris check in as that'll send back the freshman Vivian Stevens to serve for the Falcons. Stevens to serve. Triton settling down. Here comes Addison Viers, rolls it across and drops it back, knotted up at 26. What a way to start off the season with an opening set as we go deep into points. Got to win by 2. What an opening set. The Trojan student section on their feet. As Lena Dahl to serve. Front row ready. Avery Viers tips it across. The freshman coming up big in this opening set. Puts her big blue slam up by 1 with Lena Dahl on a very important serve here. The Falcons look to get back. Mia Hooten talking to her players behind her. Stevens, a freshman. Faulkner now talking to her back row. Dahl now. Back across. Borton answers. Stevens pulls it away from the net, leaving Hooten. Swings blocked up front. The Falcons trying to recover and can. And Triton takes the opening set. Trailing and coming back to take the lead as they win the opening set 28-26. In dramatic fashion, the big blue slam come roaring back. But you got to believe that Falcon team has something to prove here going into the second set. We'll take a break. We'll get a word from our IHSA Champions Network commercials. We'll be back on the Triton Trojan Sports Network.
You're good at making big announcements.
We're having a go!
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Andy O'Hara alongside Kayden Hummitch, then the Hall of Famer Orion Lemler here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network as Triton came roaring back to win that opening set 28-26. But you better believe the Falcons are going to focus in and get ready here for the second one. JV lost for the Trojans here earlier this evening as Glenn got out to a 25-18 opening set. And as Triton came roar, kind of trying to get back in that second set, losing that one 25-20 earlier here this evening. You full, you good now? I mean...
Yeah, I wish I went and washed my hands. I missed all the action there.
Yeah, when it gets close again, we might send you away. I got pretty dramatic in here for a little bit. So now you got to run the camera. Now your break's over with, huh?
Yep.
So Hooten, Romer, Borton, Fortner, Yalaska, Stevens, and Arik find their way out. As I think they're going to switch a couple players around here with Feldman, Snyder, Dahl, Avery, and Addison Viers, and Macy Hensley as Kinsey Atkins will rotate in. As Romer will come off the floor, Borton will take her place. And Atkins the two seniors now trading places. As the Trojans will serve to start off this second set as they will. As Glenn started with the opening serve. And it'll belong to junior Hannah Snyder as she gets ready to serve it away. Snyder back across. Yalaska on up here. Hooten rolls it across. Dahl winding up and into the block of Hooten and Stevens along that front line. Now bring in Ava Parrish as the freshman Vivian Stevens back to serve it away. And now one into the net. Free point for the Trojans. Not back up at one. As Lena Dahl back to go again. Allen just real close to the net there. Good save by Borton. Addison Viers tips it across. Nice job to find an empty spot along that front line. Addison Viers sees that floor so well, as we saw her do with some very miraculous plays early on in that first set. She found empty spots in the back corner and dropping it away from the defense, really moving the defense well. She really manipulated on that front line, was going to rear back, but saw that opening here in the front corner open up and just took advantage of it. And speaking of taking advantage of a open spot on the floor, Ava Parrish answering right back as back and forth we go here in this second set. Well, did he put it up there for you now? He put it on the scoreboard for you. He must have heard you talking.
Well, and I did it manually too, so
that's all right.
Switch it back to see if it worked.
Haley Arik now to serve it away. Avery Viers stopping it. Kinsey Atkins bringing it back into play, and Addison Viers bumps it across. Hooten tipping it. Viers, strong hit, but Borton brings it back into play. That was going to be close to that sideline. Viers tips it across. Nice play by Hooten to keep it alive. Parrish back across. Hooten ready to go. It's going to be a battle up front, and Addison Viers beats out the senior. The Trojans take a 1-point lead. No, I think our camera guy over there is getting hungry. I think I should have brought money for a pretzel.
Oh boy. I'll have to look and see if I got any.
Oh, we'll feed him eventually. He's got to earn his take. He just can't go get a pretzel on his first time working. You can't treat him, make him think he's going to get it every time. Viers tips it across and finds another soft spot. That defense dropping in front of that back row. Good find by Addison Viers, and Kinsey Atkins back again to serve.
You know what? I didn't bring the banner. I should say I didn't bring the banner.
And that free point belongs to the Falcons. I don't know. He's talking a lot of grief over there with. He has a lot to say, but no one can hear him. I have to get this this kind of setup at home. Hooten back across into the top of the net, and back-to-back free points cancel each other out. As Riley Johnson will check in for the senior. Maya Davis will take her spot along the front line as Addison Viers goes back to serve. 2-point ball game. Romer winds up, sends it to the back row, and just past the out-of-bounds line, and Triton hangs on to it. You know, Kayden, it's all in good fun, pal. Just saying. Stevens pulls it off the net, and the Falcons will get called for 4 hits. So nice try to play it back off of the net. Good attempt by Stevens to try to keep it alive. Viers back across. Feldman and Davis up along the front line to block it away.
This is John Glenn's first game, too, isn't
Yes, I believe so. I don't know. Max perhaps wasn't updated. I still had last year's schedule up, so not a lot of places to get information. So Kaluki trying to refocus her group as they trail by 5.
You mean you don't have your whole day to call the school and ask them?
I'll tell you what. Getting back to repairing copiers and printers and stuff like that, I don't have a whole lot of time.
I don't either. I have a full-time job.
I was like, hey, you know, this is one of those on-the-side projects we have. This, what would you call it, a hobby? I don't know. It's just we have fun doing it either way. We have fun. Looking forward, like we said, Wednesday night, the Big Blue Slam will bring in Mishawaka, as they'll come here, I believe, correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
On Wednesday, and then Thursday they'll be at Oregon Davis. We will not be at that game. If I don't go to a supper with the in-laws, I might have to answer some questions. And then, of course, on Friday night we'll travel to Union Mills as the football team gets their season underway. Looked really good in the scrimmage. These boys are fired up. They're here tonight to cheer on their Big Blue Slam out here. Stevens on up. Romer to tip it across into the crowd, but splits the defenders up front. And the Falcons coming out of the timeout getting a good point there. That should be a loud point for them as they try to get that momentum to shift back their way. Of course, we got a lot of new faces for the TTSN this year. We're going to have a new broadcaster up in the booth with us. Davis, a strong hit. Couldn't get anyone to bite up front. As Coach even tried to get on top of that ball to try to drive it down. It was a good, strong hit, but as he's showing her down there, you got to get on top of that one and just drive it down to the ground. Of course, we had some good interviews with the boys. A very highly debatable subject we had for one of our questions. That one almost going up off the light. Stevens gets it across. Atkins dancer in the back row, close to the net, and Triton didn't have enough room to play it back across. Even trying to get his front line to communicate a little better on that front line.
I'm going to have to ask how that project's coming.
That'll be all right. I know I had a lot of fun asking questions. I didn't really think that was going to be that debatable of a topic. I had other ones just in case, and we just ran with it.
Yeah.
Now, there is time out throughout the day where lunchtime, I get to look at
I haven't
report and whatever.
I haven't watched the Friday night one. Do I need to edit anything in that?
It's kind of impromptu, so you might want to check. Here's back across. Yalaska on up to Romer. She goes just past the attack line. Feldman with a nice swing to the back row. Arc there to answer. Faulkner goes to the back. Kinsey Atkins and Viers bring it back into play, and Dahl can't get quite underneath it. Coach Evelyn, that was a right situation. Just got to get it to clear on top of that net, but a good attempt there by Lena Dahl. But the lead dwindling away as we're back to 1 point separating the two teams. A nice play to the back row. The Trojans get a point back.
I'm still a little rusty with the camera here because I haven't done it in 10 months.
You know what? You don't realize how hard it is to get back into talking about stuff until you actually have to do it. I'm just saying. National anthem may or may not have got started on time.
It was started. You just couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it. It was playing. And now it goes out of bounds. Good communication by the Falcons. And their sideline helping them out.
Well, you would think when you raise the volume bar all the way up that
It would unmute.
It would unmute.
But got to give a shout out to one of the Glenn fans to help us out. He goes, does that thing look like it's mute? I couldn't see it. I appreciate the help. I'll admit when I'm wrong. And that Faulkner couldn't quite clear the net. Very close in terms of points here. In this second half, both teams trying to find that momentum to kind of start to build off of it. Still trying to fill each other out here in this second set. Viers stops that one up to Addison Viers. Here comes Lena Dahl, tips it across. Romer can adjust. And the Trojan with a big point there. That was a good job by Avery Viers to go to Sister Addison, who set up Lena Dahl well.
So the sad thing is I never even hit the mute button. I just put the bar all the way down.
I don't know.
So putting it down mutes it, but when you raise it back up, it doesn't unmute it.
The sad thing is we could make Kayden charge that. I mean, he could probably figure out how to run it. Maya Davis with a nice swing to the back row. I believe we're going to get a double hit. Our first double hit call of the match belongs to the Falcons. Think you could run that iPad and do the music? There, Chief.
You couldn't fall under the peer pressure when they ask you to play a certain song.
Got to have ice water in your veins, dude. Romer. Avery Viers with the heads-up play, but that one goes out of bounds. It's a good effort by Triton. Even better by the Falcons as they benefit off that point as Borton will rotate in. We'll check in for Johnson. As Hensley, Davis, and Dahl the front line for the Trojans. Atkins and Addison and Avery Viers the back row for the Big Blue Slam. And Davis knew she had it dialed up and just rushed it just a tad. So the sophomore is improving. Try and get her footing. Mile figured out. Smart kid. Borton strong serve to the back row. Atkins wisely brings it back into play. And Putin makes sure that one was going to come back across. Got good position on Lena Dahl on that front line and tipped it back in. And Borton now a chance to tie it on this serve. Our other broadcaster was too busy tonight. Told me she wanted to do volleyball. She knows who she is. Arik back across the back row. Atkins to answer. And Addison Viers the hit from beyond the and a nice play there by the Trojans.
You should make her to have to find her a replacement when she.
I think she should. I think that would be a good homework assignment, but I don't know. Can't just put anybody up here.
Yeah, she'd have an idea.
Yeah, she'd have an idea. She knows bring it on. I mean, there's a couple. I've seen a few students out there that could have very well done it. Hooten swings into the wall, and that one goes right back into play. Blocked up front. Led by Addison Viers and Lena Dahl and Macy Hensley already in that front line to send it back.
You know, we're going to have to get Evelyn to get a scrimmage for volleyball so we have a
test run.
Test run, because this is our test run tonight.
Oh, hey. Atkinson, nice job to find a spot to move the libero out of position by the Falcons. Both teams really kind of seeing the floor well and trying to move. Is even trying to direct his defense. 14-12 now. Stevens, strong hit, but goes right on top of the net, and an ace for the Falcons. That's their fourth here this evening. Kayden, you think Subway will still be open after this? Addison Viers drops it, but couldn't quite get it to clear. Coach even say, don't get cute with this. Go up there and deliver it back.
I hate eating in front of you guys, but I have to eat before 7 or I have stomach issues.
I hear you. Michelle told me what she was making for dinner, and I can't remember. Hooten back across. Viers. Nice job by Borton to get a paw on that one. Snyder trying to get it back into play, but it was a good find to the back row by Hooten to go back there and try to see if she can get him out of position. And she finds a soft spot along just behind that front line and drops it in front of Snyder. And the Falcons back out in front here for the first time in this set. 15-14 is our score. Stevens kind of bobbled that serve a little bit. She kind of threw her timing off. Now lean it all back to serve it away. Hooten with a tip across. Snyder up to Viers, strong hit. That one hit the top of the net and bounced right back to her and goes out of bounds. So that'll bring in sophomore Jenna Bulis to go to the back far corner. It's Haley Arick now to serve. Viers sets it across. Good setup to Fortner on the far side there from near side, and a lift. Or a double hit rather. Triton's first double hit call of the match. Well, I'll take my break. I can somewhat see. Arick now goes back to Bulis. Viers now back on to Addison Viers, who rolls it across. Hooten there to answer. Stevens brings it back. Hooten hits it from beyond the attack line. That one tipped. Atkins with the heads up play. Good play, but that one goes out of bounds. And the Falcons on a roll.
How far do they get ahead before we time out?
I'm guessing one more point. Mine's 1 point. Kate, how many points do you think for a timeout? He's going to go two more.
I'll go 2.
Don't side with the new guy. You got to put some pressure on him. Parrish back across. Viers sends it right back in. Viers drops it in the corner. Coach even like that one. Good adjustment on the front line and good heads-up play.
Maybe we won't time out.
Maybe we won't have the timeout.
Nobody took that on. Nobody took that guess.
It's awful quiet from our group watching in Indianapolis. Appreciate their help. And that one, nice job by Fortner to find it. Just a nice little spot there on the near sideline. Puts her team at by 3.
Well, we got double tech support tonight. Haynes is watching.
Oh, we got Haynes watching too, yeah. Got to give Haynes a shout out. Big, he's helped us out a lot for football. I'm looking forward to that stuff he's bringing to us for football this year. Kaluki telling Hooten where to put it. Back to Atkins. Viers goes right back to Kinsey, and Kinsey can't quite get down to lift over top the net. And the Falcons hit the 20-point mark first, and there's the timeout. So was that technically 2?
Well, a 4-point lead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because technically we scored.
I guess
So
we should have said what's the point differential that they'll take a timeout in, but it would have been 4 because what?
I think Kayden loses either way. I love that he can't react and talk back. He may start to find a way to start talking on this thing. I gave him the chance.
Well, unfortunately, you can't use those to talk.
Nope.
We got to figure out a wireless headset deal. They're expensive.
Well, I'm not sure he needs to talk. I'm having too much fun picking on him because he can't retaliate yet. I'm sure I'll hear it in the quick car ride home. Appreciate Kayden's help. Taking on a big undertaking. It's Hooten now to serve with that 4-point lead. Kaluki dialing it up. Kaluki reading the floor. Hooten knows where she's going to put it coming out of the timeout. It's right at Atkins as the libero trying to answer back. Viers tips it across. Hooten answers back. Good play. Fortner back across. Viers goes to the back row. Almost a miscue up front. Bit of a rally here as Faulkner back across, tipped up front. Snyder, Viers trying to kill it. And that one, they say, stayed in. That was a good swing by Addison Viers to try to shift the momentum. As Maya Davis goes to the front line to take place, as Addison will go back to serve. It's a good volley, good back and forth play by the two teams. It's Riley Johnson's in the back row with Arik and Faulkner. With Leslie, Stevens, and I believe Romer along the front line for the Falcons. Faulkner answers on the serve. Avery Viers back across. Addison Viers back corner, drops it in. They're going to say that one dropped in. Addison Viers trying to see that floor. As Kaluki's like, that was awful close. I couldn't quite see the angle. It was close. Kayden, did you get that shot?
Oh, I forgot to tell him to hit record.
Oh, well. Kind of fits. His dad always forgets to do it anyways.
It's not a big deal.
Feldman back across the corner. Johnson to answer. The Falcons rallying into a hit here. Faulkner goes back row. Catch. Bulis couldn't quite recover. A good strong hit and a good setup there for the Falcons leading into that point.
Maybe we'll get the replay figured out for Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah. It depends on how much homework he's got, too. Promised his mother he'd get his homework done. Oh, now it goes back across. Triton gets a call there. That was close up front. Triton a lucky break as nobody was back there in that far back corner. Luckily, that one went out of bounds. So everyone kind of bunched up here on that, and they're on the attack line. Lucky break. As 21-19 now stands our score. As Avery Viers now back to serve. Atkins back up. Viers sends it across and drops it right in front of Johnson out of position. One-point ball game. Avery Viers back to serve again. The freshman doing well here in this match.
We came from behind in the first one, didn't we? In one?
I believe so. Yes, we did. It was a rally. And the Falcons a chance to get it across. Good recovery by the Falcons. Lena Dahl goes to Faulkner. Johnson to get it across. Viers sets up Maya Davis. The sophomore swings through the block. Knotted up at 21. I may have to go get a water after this.
That first set took 4 extra serves.
That went 28-26 was that opening score in that first set. Viers goes back row. Johnson up to Stevens. Faulkner out of bounds. Triton takes the lead. The student section trying to fire it up in a timeout. For the Falcons, it's Kaluki trying to refocus her troops. Anthony Shue trying to fire up that student section. Like I said, I'll tell you what, those football players, I'm going to give them another shot. They're fun to watch. They get fired up down there now. I'm telling you, especially after football practice. They got to burn off that energy from football. I mean, you got to wear them down a little bit.
I get home, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I'll turn Jackson loose down there with those guys. I mean, so here we go.
Oh, they're testing out the new bleachers down there.
They're holding well. So Triton's new AD, Rodney Younis, looks on. He watches Viers on this serve here. Viers catches out of position, and that one goes up here to the near side bleachers. And Avery Viers, 4 aces on the night, and all 4 for the team belong to her here this evening. A coming out party for the freshman. She's showing strong here in this opening match of the season. Board brings that one up off the deck. Dahl tips it across. Faulkner there, but I think we're going to get a net violation, I think, coming here on the Falcons. Kaluki trying to fire up her team. Viers with the big point here, a match point here. That one goes up off the backboard, almost through the hoop. Kenny almost got his wish. Romer back up front. Triton tips it across, and they take that second set. 25-21 as we get ready for the third set. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on the IHSAA Champions Network.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Andy O'Hare alongside Kayden Hummitch and the Hall of Famer Orion Lemler here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network as we're live here from the Trojan Trench on YouTube and the IHSA Champions Network as Triton has took the first two sets, but it has been in dramatic fashion as both teams scoring over 20 points in both sets. Someone gets the lead, goes on a run. Someone else comes, and Triton the last two times has came roaring from behind with some lucky breaks a couple different times to get that score, but Triton being dominant, not blinking under pressure, trying to find ways to get that momentum to shift right back their way. Of course, have a lot of help from that student section. Firing them up, get them all laughing and having fun. But this Glenn team looking to here to force a fourth set. No, they are very disciplined over there. They time it just right now. Atkins. Snyder back across. Addison Viers has to adjust. Borton now gets that one to bring it back into play. Hooten to tip it across. Finds an open spot. Bumps it back across. Atkins. Avery Viers gets away with that one. On up. Addison Viers tips it to the back corner. No one home, but too strong out of bounds. Right idea. No one was home. Coach Evans did that was the right spot. That was the right spot. But as he has a quick word with Avery, just kind of got in front of Kinsey, who called out. Like the hunger for the ball, but got to listen to that communication as well. Stevens now to serve it to the back line. Addison Viers tips it up, calling for it back. Swings through, kill shot, Addison Viers. With authority, sends it back. She made sure that one stayed in play. You know, Kayden, Atkins keeps asking me to, I know that, like we discussed a few years ago, I still don't think the idea of standing there letting Addison hit a ball and I got to stand there and let it hit it nearby me. I don't know if I want to do that one.
Well, on America's Got Talent, they throw knives at you.
I'll take knives. Have you ever seen Addison hit that ball? I think that's scarier. Good grief. Falcons now with a 2-1 lead. Viers tips it back across. Parrish couldn't quite clear the net and knotted up at 2. I'm serious. Addison, man, I'm pretty sure her imprint is on one of those, a couple of those volleyballs, and she smacks that thing. Good night. Addison Viers. And Kayden, that's why I want to wear a helmet. He just told me, he said, no helmet. I got to do it with no helmet. That one goes off the head of Faulkner as Addison Viers sets that one down. Oof. 3-2's now our score. It's almost on point. Stevens up. Faulkner now answers back. Drops it in that near side corner. Good play by Faulkner to bounce back. Shakes it off. Ties it up at 3. Need to get you a clicker to switch those.
Yeah, I've got it here, but
Hooten strong out of bounds. Right idea was trying to find that empty spot, trying to force him, push him back to that back line. I had to open my big mouth.
well, I should probably get it out and see if it works.
Anthony Shue and the Lumberjack Rodney would take their seats. Oh, but a heads-up play. The Falcons try to keep it alive as Faulkner was a little, well, not quite had her timing off there, but a nice try heads-up play to try to bring it back and keep it alive for the Falcons. The Trojans now with a 2-point swing.
He has replay on there. He doesn't have camera switching.
And Leslie's hit goes into the net. Viers goes back to serve. Now leading by 3.
Oh, I lost my camera.
And an ace for Addison Viers. Trojans' 5th ace of the match. Well, that's not good.
That came back. Evidently needs to upgrade some equipment.
I didn't touch anything. Romer now winds up, tips it across. Feldman's there to answer. Viers up. Here comes Feldman swinging hard, but out of bounds. Coach Even said that was a good setup play. It was good defensive stand there as the Falcons were in position and ready for it. Wisely pulling away, let that one going out of bounds. As Kelsey Alaska will send it across. Davis on the return. Calling for it up front, tips it across, drops it in. Nice play by Maya Davis. Like I said, give that young lady some time. Show up some bright spots, and right there, that's right there. You know, she has had a tough couple moments, but good mental fortitude to bounce back with that point there. Johnson up off the backboard. Faulkner. His arc back across. Feldman stops it. Viers leaves it for Davis, who slaps it across. Faulkner across, drops it right above as Viers had a chance at it, pulled away at the last moment. And Jenna Bulis will check in for Avery Viers. Looky talking to her offense on that front line. Drops it across. Good play there. I believe Romer gets the point. And the Falcons knocking on the door. Chaley Faulkner gets that one across, but I think we're going to get a double hit call, or a lift rather, on the Trojans. Free point for the Falcons, now trailing by 1. Davis trying to catch him off guard with the dump across. Back row, Atkins has got to bring it back into play. Stevens too strong. Has got to get a little more on top of that one. Had a good look. Has found an open spot in that back row. That's where she was trying to put it.
Wonder if Perry's watching tonight.
Oh, I'm sure she is. She never misses one. Of course, we'll have Coach Perry out. We're going to bring Coach Perry back this season. I got to learn all these new names out here for us. And a point for the Falcons. Sporting now back to serve. Hensley too strong, hits into the bleachers. And Viers will check back in. Borton to the back row. Atkins answers. Davis trying to knock it across.
Tied
Falcons
9.
not up at 9.
Oh. Well, now it's 10.
Now it's 10.
10-9.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was knotted up, but 1 point lead now for the Falcons. Hooten with a strong hit through the front line. Dahl blocked up front by Hooten, but it comes right back into play, and Borton can't get to that one. Triton answers back to knot it up at 10. Snyder will check in as Maya Davis will come off the floor. Even having a quick word with Coach Baker down there. Addison Viers swings it through the front line to take the lead back by 1. 2-point swing now for Triton.
We're going to have to get a text line so people are watching on IHSA can chime in.
Don't send it through Kayden's phone. Almost a miscue up front. Hensley's got a set, but then caught our position. The double hit call will, or the lift rather.
I've been thinking about getting a burner phone.
Parrish will check in. And Kayden's only allowed to use his phone for certain points of the day. Stevens just grazed the top of the net for an ace for the freshman. They've got 5 aces on the evening. Stevens to go again. Fresh off the ace. Viers, back corner, wide open and drops it in. Addison Viers, we know she can hit it hard, but placing it where she does such a great job seeing the floor.
I'm going to leave it on Kayden's camera here for a while, see how he does with getting everything.
The pressure's on, dude. And lean it all now back the other way. Hooten back across. And out of bounds as it'll cross on the near side of the antenna. Dahl now to serve. Hooten now into the net. I'm not sure that's going to be worth it. (14-12).
Sad thing is that might be my phone.
Nice find by Arik, but a good dig by Kenzie Atkins. Hensley all smiles as she knocks that one back the other way. Parrish trying to find a soft spot in this near side corner. Hooten tips it across. Nice play. What?
You're going to see if you can raise it up to 2.
No.
I'll do it.
Another point for the Falcons. Knots it up at 14. Ark serves it across. Atkins answers. Viers tips it across, back row. On up to Parrish, who gets it across. Atkins to answer. Viers. Hensley plants her feet and sends it back to the back row. Tips it across there from Parrish, trying to find a soft spot in the zone. Viers drops it in, and the Falcons recover. Snyder plays it back. Viers tips it to the backside corner. Addison Viers painting the corners. I have to keep track of Addison painting the corners. I mean, she is finding spots in the zone. She's really taking what the defense gives her. Blocks it back across. Addison Viers and Avery Viers, the sisters, knocking it back across. Macy Hensley now to serve, leading by 2. Macy Hensley, another talented player on that front line. Couldn't quite get it to clear. Hooting to go now. Atkins back into play, and a double hit call. As Avery kind of had one hand kind of on the other side, but kind of just not quite in position. That's Triton's second double hit call here of the match, and that knots it up at 16. Hooten with a laser for the ace. Now the Falcons in plus territory there, with a +1 on this ace advantage and a timeout for Triton.
Wow, only one point difference there.
Hey, you know,
but he sees the momentum,
and that's a good spot in these two coaches, like between Kaluki and of course Coach Evelyn, both very good coaches, trying to find a spot to stop that momentum. As you know, Triton was back and forth, and there's been a couple miscues on the Trojan side when they're kind of out of position. He's trying to get them to kind of straighten it up and just kind of focus them back in. I think it's a good spot for a timeout.
Yeah.
Kayden, what's your analysis? Darn, we got rid of my crickets.
Oh. Well, I think you definitely want to see if you can put it away in this third, because you're going to be exhausted if you have to take this to 5.
Well, and you know, Triton's got to put the hammer down. I mean, they got a shot, but I'm telling you what, Glenn is not going to go quietly. Now, this is that opening set, and in the first 2 sets have not disappointed. It's been tight the entire way through. Both of these teams playing extremely well here tonight in this opening season, rather, to shake off the rust. And another ace for Houghton. Back-to-back for her. While our Indianapolis crew says the crickets needed to go. Just clears the net. Viers keeps that one alive. Feldman trying to find a spot in that front spot. And a good play by Forkner to bring it back alive. It goes out of bounds. But go back there. I mean, Chaley Forkner with a nice play to keep that ball alive for the Glen. Triton benefits on the point. Stevens on up. Leslie through the block, and it's not strong enough. As the Falcons back on the board. Now in those first 2 sets, the Falcons were the first team to reach 20 points. Trying to make that 3 consecutive times here. Davis answers. Viers setting up. Feldman, who tips in the corner, but that one goes out of bounds. On a net violation either way, the point belongs to the Falcons. Alaska to the back row. Atkins sends it across. Empty spot. Atkins with the heads-up play. Avery Viers bails out. 21-17 is our scores. The Falcons knocking on the door, trying to force another set. And Kelsey Alaska to go again. Atkins heads-up play. Here comes Davis. Swings it across. Back row. Oryx there to answer. Romer winds up. Sends it across. No one home. I think we're going to see a timeout here soon. I think 1 point. I think we're going to see a timeout. It's Kaluki firing up her Falcons, who are on a big roll here now, leading by 5, 3 points away from winning this third set. Viers sends it across quickly to to Alaska. Faulkner across. Feldman up to Davis. Swings it. Nice play by Johnson. Digs it up out off the floor. Faulkner back row. Dahl now to answer. Addison Viers on up. Morgan Feldman tips it across. Heads up play by Romer. Viers back corner. Drops it in. That one hit the line. At least it looked like it from this angle. But hey, like I said, it was close either way. A big point for Triton. But Glenn focusing in. Davis through the net. Drops it in. 2-point swing for Triton. Maya Davis adjusting well here in this third set to bring her team within 3. Avery Viers back across. Auric to Alaska. Romer tips it across. Avery Viers there to answer. Addison brings it away from the net. Kinsey Atkins has got to send it back across and can't. 2 points away now for the Falcons. Falcons digging deep here. Momentum clearly on their side as Triton looking winded here in this third set. Miscue there. Match point now coming here for the Falcons. As the Falcons trying to force a fourth set here. Faulkner across, strong serve. Viers can adjust, and the Falcons take the third set, 25-19. Great job by Kaluki's crew as they come firing back to force a fourth set. Triton has got to refocus here as they go into this fourth set. We'll take a break. Meet back here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Andy O'Hara alongside Kayden, Hummitch, and the Hall of Famer Orion. Lemler here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network as we're live from the Trojan Trench as the Falcons, you just saw, take that third set to force this fourth one here. As they got up to that 20-point mark and didn't look back, and they held on to that lead and drove hard to win that set. This is a tough team. I mean, if Triton had a chance to extend that lead and take off, but like I said, this is a tough Glen team. They're not afraid.
I believe Glen is in the varsity tournament later.
Yes.
Well, in September 10th. Is that where we're going?
Yes.
Yeah. Could be a rematch for the championship.
It'll be recorded. So Snyder all ready to go, focused, trying to get this fourth set underway. Tipped up front, Viers. Dahl can't quite clear it, and the Falcons strike first in this fourth set. Riding the momentum as Parrish will check in for Alaska. Go on the front line with Hooten and Arick. Snyder, Dahl, and Macy Hensley the front line for Triton.
Need a point, Don.
Stevens across. Atkins back row. Borton libero to libero in that exchange. Tips it away and a 2-point swing to start off this fourth set by the Falcons. Need one more, Don. Need one more.
We're going to have to get him a headset next.
Put an earbud in down there for him. There he goes.
There you go.
Don has got he is a legend down there in that on that scoreboard controller and the PA announcer. He's got to shake the rust off, too. Fair swings, but that one goes out of bounds. That one, this side of that sideline, that one out of bounds. It was close, but it was on that side. And it was a rocket. Stevens to serve again, the freshman. Snyder's got to run that one down. Hensley back across. Hooten will go back row. Atkins will bring it back into play. Viers setting it across. Hooten, nice heads-up play. Atkins tries to keep it alive. But the Falcons flying high here in this fourth set. Now 4 points to open this fourth set. Sorry, I've been waiting to use that pun.
Now my camera went away. Huh.
Need to get the chickens back. Viers tips it through the block, out of bounds. But we're going to get either way, the points belong. The Trojans are going to call a net violation on the Falcons. They're going to say they're going to call that one on, I believe, Ava Parrish. Stevens sets up Parrish, swings in. Viers there to send it back. And Triton gets on the board. Macy Hensley very vocal in that far front line spot. Like to see her, very good to see her barking out orders on that front line. Triton bunches up there, and Hooten takes advantage.
She must have wanted me to do dishes.
That's all right. Arick back across. Lena Dahlp off the backboard. Snyder. Viers tips it across. Hooten back the other way. Viers swings through with authority through the block. Has everybody still got their fingers after that one? Sheesh. Kayden liked that one down there. He's focused. Atkins with the serve, drops to the back row. Borton waits patiently for Stevens to clear, but that one goes out of bounds. Right idea, good patience by Borton on that back row. 1 point separates the two teams as Atkins to serve for a second straight time. Strong serve and out of bounds. Is your connection loose on that
Well,
thing?
I'm hoping it's the cable, not the camera, but I have a feeling it's the output of the camera.
Uh-oh. Hooten to the top of the net, and it drops right in that corner. Caught Triton napping. Coach Thielen not happy with that one. An ace for me and Hooten. She's got a couple of those here tonight. 8 total for the team. Leading in that department. Atkins back across. Hooten directing the back row. Faulkner now into the net. Riley Johnson now will check in. As well, Maya Davis. So Addison Viers now to serve. Up and hits the antenna. Out of bounds. A slick spot on the floor. Officials try to clean that up.
They were cleaning a spot out in front of the concession stand when I went to the restroom. I don't think it was spilled food. I think it was.
Ooh. You can stop right there, pal. Feldman goes across the way. There's strong stop. Feldman rolls it across, burns it across the top of the net. Faulkner answers. Stevens back to the way. Atkins tracks it down. Close to the net. Romer catches him out of position, and the Falcons hang on to that lead.
You remember the latest we've ever been here? Granted, it won't be tonight because this game started a half hour earlier than some.
Well, we've been here pretty late a couple times. Allen drops in. Trojans get a point. Now trailing by 1. And freshman Avery Viers has had herself a night serving the volleyball. Addison Viers calling it out, making sure her voice was heard. Atkins gets that one up. Lena Dahl sets it across. Johnson took that one kind of higher up than she wanted to. Faulkner now back across. Viers up. Feldman tips it to top the defense, but Stevens with the heads-up play. Almost a miscue by the front line, but they get it across. Viers goes back row. Alaska setting up Romer. Swings. Dahl to stop it. Davis calling for it and goes to the back row. Long volley here. Who wants it more? Alaska. Stevens back across. Atkins to answer. Viers dips it across. Romer. Atkins tracks it down, looking like a center fielder, bringing it back into play. And Viers can't get that one as the Falcons capitalize on the rally.
Corey Hill said the the cheer block was here. Student section height for Andy.
Yeah, I tell you what, that football team, they're a favorite of mine. Like I said, my favorite pet block. Davis goes to the back row. Romer back across. Atkins now up in the front row. Viers across. Lena Dahl swings it home. They're going to say Stevens crossed underneath, but the point belongs to Triton. I don't know. Jackson's like chomping at the bit to watch a movie tonight too, so he'll be all right. He'll stay up a little bit later.
If there wouldn't have been fireworks Saturday, I would have had an outdoor move. Yeah.
You know, that'd have been a good idea. I don't know. My parents sure loved it. They're ready for next year.
Where'd you end up sitting?
We actually sat right in front of the administration building, right on the sidewalk there, because we found a spot that was quiet and put our feet on the sidewalk. I actually sat with Haynes. Haynes sat with us.
Huh.
So Jackson, everybody enjoyed themselves. Summerfest was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. Took a quick look at the classic cards. That was fun on Sunday as Triton get another point and takes the lead by 1. So we took part in the events, watched it, and saw the parade. My dad was all fired up, but I think the most exciting for my dad the entire time was the garage sales. I mean, he saw the barn sales. My dad really gets into that. And a point for Romer and the Falcons. Yeah, him and Jackson. Apparently they must have liked your guys' garage sales. They stopped twice. I think it's because we were there, but hey. Borton now to serve. Viers takes that one up high. Hensley back across. Tie ball game here at 10. Tipped by Romer. But I think we're going to get a net violations. They're going to say, I think, Elastic crossed underneath. Snyder will check in for Davis. Snyder back across. Borton takes that one off the side and an ace for Snyder. Triton's 6th of the evening. Hooten tips it across, tipped up front. Atkins and Viers hit the deck as Addison Viers tips it down. Three-point match, or set. 3 points separate the two teams. Snyder back across. Alaska back up. Arik with a nice hit to the back row. Atkins recovers. Lignadal swings it. Nice play by Faulkner to keep it alive. The Alaska back the other way. Viers tips it across. Stevens, back row. Nice play by Snyder to keep it alive. That one's close to the net. Viers has got to make a tip across, but I think we're going to get another net violation on the Falcons. And an ace.
Wow. Yeah.
And a timeout for the Falcons.
You haven't talked to Evelyn with our little idea, have you?
No, I figured I'd bring that up tonight. We won't worry about interviews since Kayden's over there. I think he's starting to, I think the hunger's starting to set in. Okay, quit spinning on the chair, dude. I'm going to switch chairs. God. See, I can reel him in from this thing, too.
He can sit down a little bit.
He can sit down, but he was spinning his chair.
I'd be doing the same thing.
Well, I'm just saying. It's only because Mr. Riffle's not in the building anymore, I think, is why he started doing that.
Oh.
Because as we said, the girls will be here Wednesday night against Mishawaka. We'll travel to Oregon Davis on Thursday. And the Trojans football team will be in action Friday night up at South Central Union Mills. We'll have that one for you, our first football game of the year.
Well, we've peaked 65 viewers.
Appreciate everybody tuning in to watch this opening match between these two very talented teams. And a point for the Trojans. And these two teams, like Orion said, could very well see each other in that Triton tournament on September 10th. Hooten back across, tipped on the front line, but no one home there on that front line. But hey, it was just deflected. Lena Dahl was in position. Ball was just tipped funny up on the front line. As Vivian Stevens, the freshman, the lone freshman on this. Glen Varsity squad strong swing, but Viers brings it back in. Atkins can't get it there, and that'll be 4 hits on the Trojans, or out of bounds rather.
And I'm not getting my camera to come back. Nope.
Uh-oh. Kayden, if that thing goes down, it's all you, buddy. Uh-oh. Looks like Hannah's got blood on her jersey.
Oh, right on her elbow there.
My little rug burn.
Must be coming right through it.
And they're going to go get the backup jersey. As a timeout will be charged to the Trojans. Or I don't know if officials timeout. I didn't see who they called it on. I should probably keep track of that eventually. Like we said, you know, getting things kind of shaking the rust off for us. We know we had trying some new things in football on scrimmage on Friday night. And
well, I need to update this screen because now instead of 3,066 subscribers, we went over 7,000 today.
Wow. Appreciate everybody subscribing and checking out the broadcast. As Orion does a good job keeping that up to date and doing all the video and traveling around to the elementary school games. And
you also want to subscribe on IHSA too, because that's where we post season, since we have to exclusively broadcast on the IHSA network for that.
I want to appreciate them for, you know, giving us that platform to be able to do that for the postseason. Appreciate you, IHSA, doing that. Their IHSA Champions Network, you know, looking good as Snyder will check back in. They're trying to make sure that they taped it up real quick. But Coach Steven wants to make sure that that one doesn't, nothing happens to that one. Viers will tip it across. Borton now. Up to Hooten, tipping it across, and now fighting for it, and Triton can't recover. Full stoppage in time kills the Trojans' momentum. The Falcons capitalizing on that as they now trail by 3. It's the freshman Stevens back to serve it away. Snyder checks back in, goes to Hensley, who goes the back row. Nice job by Macy Hensley to find a spot in the back row. Placed it well. Has a good attempt by Fortner to try to keep that one alive. Hensley caught her out of position. It's all back across. Hooten can't quite capitalize on the swing. Hooten swings but goes out of bounds. Yeah, Hooten's had a lot of nice moments. This Falcon team, as Kaluki will try to refocus the troops. As he tries to get him try to see if he can put her team on to kill the momentum and go on a run.
The student section's really quieted down here. They must
I think the energy
worn them
might
down.
They must have worn them down. They, you know, they had the school bus, Wheels on the Bus chant tonight. We had a little bit early for Christmas, but I mean, hey, you know the stores keep putting out the Christmas decoration early there, so it's technically it fits. So I'm pretty sure after the 4th of July, they were already putting Halloween decorations out. Just saying. I saw it. My wife keeps trying to talk me into putting lights up. I don't know.
Oh, what a pain.
See, I don't see the need unless I hire somebody to come do it. All right, so Lena Dahl now back to serve as the time as play resumes. Hooten, Parrish Arick, Faulkner, Borton, and Stevens, the 6 out there for the Falcons with Lena Dahl, Atkins, Snyder, Addison, and Avery Viers as Addison Viers goes back row. And Macy Hensley rounding out the 6 for the Big Blue Slam on the floor as they hit the 20-point mark. Lean it all back across. Sister Madeline here to watch. As Addison Viers swings through. Dahl goes back to Hooten. Arc back into play. Stevens back across. Atkins comes from the back line to keep it alive. Stevens trying to find an empty spot, but drops it out of bounds. Right idea. I saw a soft spot. Had the Trojan defense out of position. Right idea, so just a tad too strong. Dahl with a strong serve. Gets the ace.
Wow.
And now both teams with 8 aces on the evening. Avery Viers leading the way for the Trojans in that department. Borton now. Stevens back on top. Goes to Hooten, who goes across. Atkins, Snyder, Avery Viers to the back row to Borton. Arc back across. Snyder with the nice heads-up play. Stevens back row trying to go to the corner. Atkins tracks it down. Snyder back into play. Viers back across. Finds a soft spot, but Borton now goes to the antenna out of bounds, and it's now match point for the Trojans, who lead by 11. Lena Dahl sends it across. Match point here for the Trojans. Hooten back row. Dahl. Snyder. Up to Addison Viers. Back across. Borton almost gets tied up there. Parrish back across. Snyder calls it out. Addison Viers through the block. And the Trojans are going to get their first win here of the season as they win this 4-set 25-13 as they take this match 3-1 over the Falcons. But let me tell you, this Falcons team, this is a group to keep an eye out for because they are a very strong group. They're very resilient. Get them midseason form. They're going to be a team to keep an eye on. They're going to be a tough team as the season goes on. So Triton wins here in 3 sets. That opening set won that very dramatic opening set, 28-26. Then finally squeaked out a second one, squeaked out the second set there, 25-21. And in that third set, we saw Glenn really kind of pin their ears back and win that one 25-19. And Triton kicked it in high gear in this 4th set to win 25-13. And with that being said, I'll go down and have a word with Coach Evelyn real quick about our idea, and that'll be it.
Darn people.
So that being said, we're going to hang it up here for our first volleyball broadcast of the season. Andy O'Hara with me here tonight is Kayden Hummitch and the Hall of Famer Orion Lemler. Until next time, remember the Trojan way.